Hi all, it's been a minute since I actually posted a new video, and roughly over the last 72 hours I've gotten quite a few inquiries wanting my opinion about this whole Colin Kaepernick to kneel, not kneel, NFL debacle and everything that's been going on and happening. And for me, I just think that it's common sense. At the end of the day, Colin Kaepernick is an American and he has a right to peacefully protest however he see fit. And in my opinion, anyone who genuinely has an issue with anybody feeling that they have the right to speak out against any sort of injustice, you are a part of the problem. Nobody has a right to tell somebody else that you don't have a right to speak up and speak out against anything that you feel is not correct, is not helpful, is injustice, and everything else that people may have a gripe about. Nobody else can control what another person does. And I think that the core of the issue with this whole Colin Kaepernick thing is just a matter of white folks have a tendency to feel like it's their right to put a black person in their place. That's all this boils down to. Everybody was fine with this Colin Kaepernick and anybody else as long as them boys was doing what they were told. As soon as they, got a voice, even in a silent way, all of a sudden now, oh, no, we can't have this. We can't have this. You all are not here for this. And this is a problem that I've spoken about in general in the past. In the black community, we spend too much time pushing our kids into these sports, into music and all these other things. And only thing that they're good at or people feel like they're good at is just that thing. You are fine as long as you can put that ball in that hoop and get that ball across that goal line. But at the same time, nobody else takes into accountability that, wow, this person really could be smart or, is educated and things of that nature. And it's a double standard and it's unnecessary. It's a double standard and it's unnecessary. One end of the spectrum, from an everyday standpoint, Colin Kaepernick is being blackballed. We black people and minorities deal with that every day in the workplace. If you speak out, if you call out the BS you see, hell, if you come up here and you're ready to challenge and come up with new ideas, go against the status quo, we're blackballed in the workplace. As long as you come in and you can get the job done and they can work you like a slave mule, guess what? You're the best person. Soon as you open up your mouth and say, you know what, I don't really like this. Let's call this problem out. I see this going on. All of a sudden now, there will be no promotions for you. You know what I mean? There will be no corner offices for you. They're going to nitpick everything you do, and all of a sudden you're a problem now. When Colin Kaepernick and anybody else who has been supporting him since day one, chose to say, you know what, this is our platform. They're football players. Where's their platform? If you are a teacher, your platform is in the school. If you're in music, you have to deal with your profession where you're at. He was fine until he went against what they felt like a black man should be capable of doing. On the flip side of it, everybody who is always so up in arms whenever rioters go out here and tear up the streets and carry on, the first thing everybody is like, why can't they peacefully protest? Why can't they peacefully protest? When that's done, it's an issue. Historically, when there were sit-ins, those were peaceful, but white folks still felt the need to spit in the face and throw hot coffee and drinks in the face of peaceful, young, black protesters. Y'all don't have an issue with that. The bigger issue should be Colin Kaepernick and anybody else should not be in 2017 having to face bringing injustice to the forefront the way it is. Y'all are really mad because this man is kneeling down in the stadium? Cut the crap. Cut the crap and grow the hell up. Like, nobody cares. If I'm at work and the person next to me is bugging out for whatever reason, whether I agree or I don't agree, as long as it doesn't affect my job, do what you're going to do. If that's what you believe and that's your stand, who am I to tell you you can't do that? It boils down to everybody is fine until black people get a voice. And then white folks are like, oh, no. You got to stay in your place and do what you're supposed to do. On the flip of another avenue of it, all y'all black people who have not athletes who have not supported Colin Kaepernick from day one over the last couple of days, now y'all want to kneel down and lock arms? Cut the shit. Y'all are so busy, black men, so busy talking about us black women in the community, emasculating y'all, and we're educated and we're driven, and we don't need you, and we're putting the black man down. Stand up for something. Stop waiting for somebody white to tell you that it's okay, boy, for you to do something. Stand up. This is the difference between years ago and what's going on today. When the Montgomery bus boycott came about, they weren't thinking about each other. They weren't thinking about themselves. They were thinking about future generations. They knew the risks, Many of them lost their lives so that we could be where we're at today. Today, it's all about self. Colin Kaepernick been out there fighting a losing battle all this time, and I get it. I get it. Black people raise their children in inner cities and in poverty, and the only dream that they put in their kids is the only way for you to get up out of here is through sports or the rap game. I respect that too. But we got to put more effort into our children knowing that you can be bankers, you can be doctors, you can be lawyers, to fight injustices. And I respect that. There were some black people who didn't stand with him because they like, listen, I done made it out the projects. My whole family depends on me. I'm not kneeling with Colin Kaepernick and they going to pull me out the game or pull my paycheck. He's not going to pay my bills. But sometimes you got to stand for something or fall for anything. Because I think what you black people who are athletes and celebrities who have forgotten, when the police pull your black ass over, they are not going to care how much money you got in the bank. White folks don't give a damn how much money, how much fame. You still a nigga to them, many of them, when it's all said and done. And that's where the message gets lost. That's where the outrage should be. You mad because this man is kneeling down in the stadium? Really? Really? What if I told you that I know many people of color who stand for the flag and the Star Spangled Banner, but in their head, they're reciting the Black National Anthem or the anthem from their native country? Are you mad yet? Are you mad yet? You're clowns. Disrespecting the military? Disrespecting the military? How? You realize that there are many black men and women in the United States military who go overseas and fight for rights in other countries, that they come back home to their native land here in the United States and they don't have those same rights? There only aren't white people in the military. I know that's what y'all think. And I know it's just as hard for a black person to climb in the military too. At the same time, we are in it together. Whether you're black, white, Hispanic, or Asian, if you are not outraged over any sort of injustice in the reality that Trayvon Martin could not walk to the store and come back because somebody saw him as a threat, you are a part of the problem. If you are not completely outraged that that monster, madman, walked into that church in Charleston, South Carolina, after black people welcomed him, prayed with him, and then he shot them and the police took his ass to Burger King like he was a little stray dog, and it was like, oh, we got to feed you before we take you into the vet. Y'all should be appalled at your own behavior. That's where the injustice and the outrage comes from. All of y'all posting all these different things and you don't even know what you're talking about. White folks feel so superior and some of y'all are just so ignorant as a box of damn dumbass bricks. Let me remind some of y'all white girls, especially, that I went to school with. Y'all up here posting all this wild stuff and, you don't really know unless you've been handed a folded flag and, all of this disrespect. And I stand, let me tell you something. I'm that person that will remind you quick. I know you. And I know you and your kind are the main chicks. As soon as our black boys do anything positive, y'all knocking our black asses over to jump on them because you got to get the come up. You gonna ride that black man all the way to the bank. You ain't talking to somebody who don't know y'all. So cut it out. I know who you are behind that screen. So you can pretend to stand in solidarity with your own people when I know behind the scenes you scheming and scamming to get you a black man just like everybody else. Colin can do whatever it is that he likes. I don't care if you needle. I don't care if you don't. You got a right to do what you want to do. Y'all want to stay in the locker room now. Everybody locking arms and now everybody is a part of the fight. No. That's why we can't get ahead in the black community, because we don't stand firm and follow through with anything. This man been talked about by his own as if they don't deal with it day to day. Every black man in America got a police story. Some black people's stories ended in death. Like, what do you mean? I don't get it. What do you mean he's being disrespectful? So if you feel him protesting peacefully injustices, what is that saying about how you feel about me? Everybody needs to relax, everybody needs to grow up, and everybody needs to join in the fight in more ways than one. I'm not saying you got to kneel down and do things, because I'm the first to tell you there are more than one way to skin a cat. I'm not going to be out there protesting in the streets. That's not what I do. I know that everything is just as effective, or can be just as effective, making sure people are registered to vote and speaking with politicians and trying to get things enacted and changed and brought to the life. We got to be able to have the conversation if we're looking for any sort of a change. So for me, Colin Kaepernick and anybody else, continue to do what you've been doing. It's you, it ain't me. I can fight and support in other different ways. But if you're not outraged over him being blackballed over the freedom of his own speech, shame on you, and you are a part of the problem. I welcome your comments, I welcome your opinions, and we can have an open discussion, as always. Have a nice day, folks.